check, 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show, and welcome to podcast 300. For those of you that have been waiting on this, I apologize for being so tardy. However, I have been busy in my life, in my business, and quite frankly, last week I was ill, which is terrible. I hate having to be sick for a week. I'd much rather be healthy and on vacation. Well, not on vacation, but just healthy. I enjoy work. To me, see, it's not a job. A lot of people think they're, what they call work, quote unquote, is a job. Mine is fun. So it's still 3 letters. It's fun. I get it. I love it. I get to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Quite frankly, I get to do it with who I want to do it with, which is awesome. For any of you guys and gals out there that don't have a lifestyle where you are completely in control, and I guess none of us are 100% completely in control, but you understand what I mean, then change that, because we have a one-way trip to heaven. Let's make it as fun as we can while we're here visiting this great earth of ours. Today we have 5 questions sent in by real estate investors. And remember, if you have a question, send it to support@michaelquarles.com. One more time, support@michaelquarles.com. Before we get started, I want to go over a couple things, if you don't mind. Been taking some notes, thinking about stuff, life, what I want to achieve, what I want you guys to achieve, how I want you to do it, how I want to do it. I think implementation is the important thing. You have to have a vision. You have to discover and determine if that vision's worthy. Maybe your vision's to go climb Mount Everest. Well, is that a worthy vision? I don't know. It is for those folks that want to go do that. So I want to make sure that it's worthy and then implement. There's the only difference between someone that's a doer and someone that's a donor is the doer just figures out how to get it done. They don't let obstacles get in their way. They're a hurdler. They're an ultra MacGyver kind of guy or gal. That's what life's all about. There's a saying, of course, that my glass is either half empty or my glass is either half full. And I think when you have the attitude that your glass is half full, then you have a different outlook on life. Like, man, it's pretty cool, but here's what I want you to do. You really want to supercharge your success in life? If you have the mentality that your glass is half full, think about a smaller glass, but with the same amount of water. Now it's no longer half full, right? And what I mean by that is, let's assume for a second you have half of everything you want. Man, your life is doing great. Well, want a little bit less. What that's going to do is it's going to change your mind frame from my glass is half full to my glass is more than half full. And then build on that. And when you start filling that thing up and that glass up and it starts to overflow with liquid or success, then get a bigger glass. Not so big, though, that you're less than halfway. Always be more than halfway. Half full. Always be more than half full. Because we can have visions and we can have desires and we can have goals, but we also have to have reality, right? One of the easiest ways to achieve what we want to achieve in life is to not be down on ourselves, to be positive about ourselves and what we do in life. So ask yourself this question. And I know it's a pondering question, but I think you should ponder it every day. And the question is, what are you going to do today that makes yourself and your life better? Today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow there's another day. So tomorrow you have to ask yourself that same question. What am I going to do today to make my life better? And yesterday you had asked that already. And you made yesterday better for tomorrow. And now tomorrow's today. So you have to ask yourself again, how are you going to get tomorrow's today better? What are you going to do to improve your life? And I know, my gosh, is it always just about doing more, having more, being more successful? No, it's not. No, you can have success. Success isn't about money. Yeah, it's one of the 6 components of goal setting, but it's not. I mean, you have family, you have your body, and you have your education and your spirituality and your ethics, and there's a lot of things you set goals in. It's not just about wealth creation. In fact, that's the little of the 6. I know we all think it's the most important one. It is not the most important one. So what are you going to do today to make your life better? Answer the question for yourself. Second little thing I want to shout out about. Some of you may know this already, but I'm going to get on an airplane. And I don't necessarily like airplanes. I'm a control freak. I don't know how to fly. So being the control freak and not being able to fly the thing, it's an uncomfortable feeling when you're a control freak. And all you control freaks out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's a great quality to have. It's what's brought me to where I'm at in life right now. But I'm going to get on an airplane and I'm going to visit the country. And if you go to a real estate investor club on a monthly basis, and it's, pretty good size, 100 people or more, give them a shout out about me. If you like me, if you want to see me, if you want to meet me, if you want me to get on your stage and talk real estate, things I do on a daily basis to be successful, I'd love to come and see you. So let them know about me. Let me know about them. Third thing, and you're going to find this is really an odd thing. However, maybe you won't. Probably will. Because it is kind of an odd thing. I'm not going to be deceiving myself. I know when I'm odd, say things that are odd. But I want you to start focusing on the propaganda within your community. What the news is saying, what the market is saying about the real estate industry. And here's why. We're getting in a very competitive marketplace. So what makes you stand out from somebody else? And really the only thing that's going to make you stand out, besides your professionalism, is your knowledge of your industry and how your industry is being affected and how it affects your local community. So start reading your newspapers. Start understanding what interest rates are in your marketplace. Let's start understanding your subprime interest rates. Start understanding what unemployment does, large factory layoffs, increase in labor in your area. All those little good things that when you meet a seller, you're going to start using words and phrases that you've read and you've come to understand. That's going to make you present yourself, or going to allow you to present yourself better than someone who isn't reading those phrases. Yeah, we all want to be a real estate investor, and we talk about front doors and windows and back doors and, square feet and, what year built and all that kind of good stuff. But, man, if your newspaper just came out with an article about interest rates are going up, going down, or the unemployment rates going up or going down, how does that affect that seller? And how does that affect your community? What are you going to do with that information, that propaganda? And sometimes the propaganda is a false propaganda. So the newspaper or the news organizations, they'll say something that isn't necessarily 100% true or accurate. There's a piece of it that's true or accurate, but not 100% of it. Or they'll talk about something, and you're going to have a hard time trying to relay it to real estate and how it impacts what you do for a living. But when you search for those articles and you start reading about your local marketplace and community, you'll find that information so you can have intelligent conversations above and beyond what your peer group or your benchmarks do. So I think that's always important. Fourth thing, please, I just spoke about professionalism and how you carry yourself. Everybody that's listening, if you have a Gmail account that you use, and I'm not picking on Gmail. I've never had a Gmail account. I don't think anyway. I might have. Someone might have set it up for me that works for me. I don't know. But if you have a Gmail account, I get it. My wife has a Yahoo account. She loves it for her personal things that she does and all that kind of good stuff. But when she goes someplace and they ask for her email address and it's a business situation, she's going to give her business email address. Just like myself, I'm going to give my business email address, and a Gmail account isn't a business email address. A Yahoo account isn't a business email address. An AOL account, oh my goodness, is AOL even around anymore? They're not business email addresses. And I know you can go to GoDaddy and you can get a domain in your area, My City Buys Houses, whatever it is, whatever you can get, $15 a year. They'll give you an email address. If you're technology handicapped, I don't even know that's politically correct, who cares? But if you're handicapped from how to set that stuff up, just call them on the phone. GoDaddy's really good about walking you through it. It's not a big deal. The more you have to try yourself to become better, the better you'll become. If you get a roadblock faced and put in front of you and you go, I can't do it because I don't understand computers. Well, guess what? You're not going to buy as many houses as I am because I'm not going to let something I don't know how to do stop me from doing something I want to do. And having a Gmail account's not as good as a business account that expresses to people what you do for a living. And the other thing I want you to do is I want you to get some polo shirts. They're only like $30, $50. I don't know. We sell them on michaelquarles.com, but you can just go anywhere and get them. I'm not trying to sell anything, guys and gals. But, wear professional clothing. I understand if you're a contractor, you're a school teacher, you're an attorney, you're a doctor, you can't, sometimes you can't wear a polo shirt that says I buy houses on it during the day. I get it. Carry it in the car. Nice thing about polo shirts, you can slip them on, slip them off, not a big deal. Now, be conscientious of where you're changing clothes at, but let's face it. I mean, it's not that big. You can go into a restaurant, McDonald's, anywhere, a restroom, and not a restaurant, restroom, and change tops. It's not a big deal. But showing up at that property dressed appropriately is pretty powerful. The third thing is get some business cards. Guys, we got two kinds of business cards out there. We have the marketing business card. That's what we use to meet and greet, all the walking, talking folks that we talk to. And the professional ones, which is after we have a contract or we actually have a relationship with someone, we give them that. But 500 business cards, what is it, $20, $25? We sell them at yellowletters.com. Or, get them from Vistaprint. You can get them from everywhere. Ours are pretty cool because we know what works, knows what doesn't work. But reality is get something, okay? And if you changed your phone number and you had some business cards and you got to scratch off the phone number and write a new phone number, get some new business cards, all right? Have less Starbucks coffee for the week and be able to buy yourself some business cards. The next thing, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to harp on it. I've decided I'm going to harp on it because that's what I do. And that's what I want to do in life is help folks that want to learn real estate investing. So I'm going to start harping on my coaching program, meaning I'm going to start talking and bragging about it, emphasizing it because it works. It will take you from where you're at, irrespective of if you've ever bought a house, always bought a house kind of thing, bought a lot of houses kind of thing. It'll take you from that spot and make you better. And I know it because I have people that have never bought a house before the program and people that have bought a lot of houses before the program, and they both are successful, more successful. What I bring, the systems that we bring and what we know, because I've been in this business for a lifetime or two, is invaluable. And for the amount of money that it costs. And I've placed the price point at a price point that causes people to afford it. So, man, if you're struggling, I get it. There was a day I was struggling too. I've priced it at a price point that helps you succeed to get out of the struggle. If you're not struggling, it's priced great for that too. It's not about taking your money. It's about teaching you real estate investing. That's all I got. Get into the program if you want to learn this business. We're going to teach you assigning, wholesaling, wholesaling, fix and flipping, and passive income. But more importantly, we're going to teach you how to systemize your business to create an approach of having a business. Because a lot of us, all we do is create the JOB, which is great. I think it's an FUN. But if you're tired of having the JOB, don't go into a business to just create one. Create a business that you can step outside of, because I can guarantee you the moment you fire yourself, you'll make more money than working for yourself. You can't make enough money working for yourself. It is an impossibility because you're going to be a slave to yourself. You're going to be a slave to the liabilities that you've created, which we call a life. Car payments, insurance payments, utilities, mortgage payments, all that kind of stuff. If you don't fire yourself, you're always going to be a slave to making sure you can cover that. The moment you fire yourself, you have exponential growth because you're going to hire people to do what you did. And guess what? They may not be as good as you are. Maybe you're 3 times better than everybody else. So hire 4 people. You've just outproduced your income. Now I'll teach you how to do that in the coaching program.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through Yellow Letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Let's go to question number 1. Sorry I got long-winded, but that's me, and that's what my new found decision is I'm going to help with not just answering questions, but I'm going to give you, or try to give you guys and gals, something to think about on a daily basis. Okay, question number 1. What's the best way to specialize in something before passing the duty off to someone else? How do I systemize my business so that I can grow and become an entrepreneur? Wow. I'm going to say it. Join my coaching program. But the reality is, I don't think you have to be super expert. We're not operating on people here. You're not stuck on Mars trying to get back. Real estate's fairly simple. It's not complicated. It is complicated because it's fear-based. That complication is fear-based. But it's not really super complicated. Let's face it. I can take someone, in fact, I know it because I take them, who've never bought a house, and then, 3 weeks later, they have a house under contract. 60 days later, they have a big old fat check in their bank account, and they don't know what the heck they're doing. But that's what real estate and having a coach is all about. We'll systemize, we'll help you get through that. But you don't have to be extremely proficient at it. If you think about a basketball coach who's about, what is he, about 5'2"? You guys probably know the one I'm talking about. And he's a professional basketball coach. I know he's never dunked a basketball in his life, unless it's a playground basketball. Someone held him up there. But he can teach someone how to do it. So once you understand the mechanics of what you're doing, and you can have some empathy on the process of doing it, then stop doing it. Get someone else to do it. There's a lot of people out there that want the paycheck. They want the job. They want the security of having that. Give them that security because, man, leaders need followers just like followers need leaders. Okay? We go together. It's not a bad thing to be a leader. It's not a bad thing to be a follower. Because if you want to be a follower, great. If you want to be a leader, great. But you don't have to know everything about everything before you hand it away. Just know how to do it. Be able to communicate it to somebody. Write down everything that you do from as if you sat, let's assume for a second you're going to order a list at ListSource. Every keystroke, every reason you've made the decision to do what you do, what follows it, what comes before it, write all those things down. Because if you can and you do, then you can give it to a person who's blind, not necessarily blind, like physically blind, but blind at what the task is and say, follow these instructions. It's a business manual, systems manual. We'll teach you systems inside the coaching program. Question number 2. After I made an appointment at 85 cents on the dollar, how do I get an additional 15 to 20% off? What are some of Michael's closes? Wow. Well, we all know, I preach about this and I preach about this and I preach about this. I feel like a preacher, but a preacher's not a bad thing. But there's little things, they're called embedded commands. When I buy your house today, when you sell me your house today, powerful, powerful, powerful. I don't care what you want to accomplish in life. Let's assume for a second you want to go buy a car. If you start using the appropriate embedded commands to get that salesperson to reduce the sales price on that car to you, you'll get a reduced sales price. Embedded commands. Positive and negative reinforcements. It's what they say repeated back, paraphrasing, because sometimes people get long-winded, like me, with a positive or a negative reinforcement. As an example, if someone says, my favorite color is red, I can say, your favorite color is red. Wow, really? Or I can say, your favorite color is red. That's terrific. Now, I'm saying the same thing. I'm just repeating back to them what they've said. But I've made them feel differently about what they've said based upon how I said it and what word I used to reinforce what they've said. Pretty simple. Pacing is extremely important. Because if I had said pacing is extremely important, it wouldn't have come across as well. But pacing is extremely important in a conversation. Silence. People, sometimes we just got to be quiet. Got to ask a question, wait for the answer. We're so, we want to hear ourselves talk so much, we don't wait. What's your favorite color? Oh, you don't know your favorite color. Well, let them answer the favorite color. Silence. So every time you ask a question about what they want to sell a house for, I want you to just quit talking for 8 seconds. It's going to be uncomfortable. Success sometimes is very uncomfortable. Man, till the pain of change is outweighed by the pain of not changing, we won't change. So silence sometimes is very difficult. But stop talking at some questions you ask. Some questions are rhetorical questions. And you'll know the difference between an important question and a rhetorical question. I don't want an answer to the rhetorical question. It's almost a statement question. But if someone asks me, or if I ask someone, what were you hoping to put in your pocket? What we call the walkaway money. The amount of money that you believe is fair. So when I buy your house today and you sell me your house, what you can walk away with. How much money do you want to put in your pocket after I take care of the mortgages and the loans and any of the liens that are against the property that we've discussed earlier? Very uncomfortable. I get it. I understand. Mimicking. Mimicking goes a long way, folks. Mimicking your prospect goes a long way. And a lot of people, they use mimicking, and it's fine to use it, as a nurturing perspective. Like, if you go into a home and you see they're a Dodgers fan, or a Yankees fan, or a Red Sox fan, or whatever it is. Or this year, everybody's probably a Cubs fan. Then you can mimic that by having conversations about that in a way that builds some rapport, some friendship. I don't necessarily need it because I can mimic a different way. I can mimic their speech pattern, their physical pattern, which is much more powerful when you start looking at neurolinguistics and leaning in and getting them to lean in and start understanding their body language and start mimicking it back and start controlling them with your body. And it's kind of powerful stuff because I could take someone that's really uncomfortable, and most sellers are uncomfortable. They don't know us. They've never met us. There's a lot of fear for a seller to sell us a house, not because they're afraid to sell it. They're just uncomfortable and they're afraid that they're going to make a mistake. So if I see someone over there with folded arms, I can get them to unfold. I can get them to relax just based upon what I do. It's kind of cool stuff. So just work on those things, and we teach you that kind of stuff in the coaching program. Question number 3. I'd like to cover the results of direct marketing, period. What he means by that is I have sent 2 mailers out and have not received a single appointment, let alone a contract. Is everyone else in my area experiencing the same thing? I've spent $30,000 in the marketing so far and only made $14,000. Well, I don't get it. I don't know how you make any money if you don't have a contract or an appointment. But anyway, and if you spent $30,000 on two mailings, you're doing something wrong. You absolutely need to be in the coaching program. Just stop doing it. Stop. I was on one of the, social media sites. And it drives me crazy when I get on these things because people give advice that just really just should not give the advice. But anyway, this lad posed a very similar question, sent out a bunch of yellow letters and received 3 phone calls and want to know if everybody else is experiencing it. And people start, chiming in with all kinds of BS. And because I consider myself an expert. I absolutely going to raise my hand. Nation's country, I wanted to say top, but maybe there's 2 of us. I don't know everybody. So maybe there could be another guy that has as much experience in direct mail as I do. But anyway, let's assume I'm number 2. So I have a lot of experience in this. But people were chiming in, giving them BS answers and stuff. Someone asked him, what did you send out? And he expressed what he sent out. I go, oh my goodness gracious. And I'm saying this to myself silently because it's not my job to say goodness gracious on a media post. But in his answers, he was telling me why he was not successful. And that just kills me when I see this stuff. Because, my coaching program is less than a couple grand for 6 months. And I know what he spent on marketing. If he did what he said he did and all that kind of good stuff. I know he spent more than that. And I just wish sometimes people would just understand that a little bit of training, a little bit of seasoned training, or training from a seasoned individual that isn't quote-unquote expert, is going to go a lot farther in your life. I have students that are proof of it. So, yeah, you'll be able to get your money back if you do it the correct way. Do it the right way. We know our numbers. We track our numbers like crazy. We had a meeting last week. On one of my days, I decided to show up at the office and sicker than dog. But, we looked at our numbers. The numbers are important. It's a system business. And no matter what kind of business you're in, you have to have systems. So one of those systems is tell me my numbers. I know exactly how many pieces of mail I have to put in the mail. I know how many phone calls that's going to create. I know how many contracts that's going to create. I know how many fulfilled contracts that's going to create, and I don't know how much money that's going to put in my pocket. Kind of cool stuff. So learn that stuff. I'll help you out if you want me to. When filling out a marketing chart, is there any reason why, this was question number 4, any reason why we're excluding corporations? Yeah, from one of the items in it. And the reason we exclude corporations is we want mom and pop sellers. I know that I'm going to always buy in either an LLC or a sub S. I'm never going to buy personally. Always going to put it in an entity, and I know that's LLCs or corps. But I'm not my seller. I'm looking for the seller who wants to sell, who's just a mom and pop. So I'm looking for people that have sold to mom and pops, if that makes any sense. I know that's a stretch. Yeah, that's why. But if you want to use corps, use corps. It's not a big enough thing that I'm going to say you can't use it and still be successful, because you can. I just would rather know the neighborhoods where mom and pops are buying for cash, or mom and pops are investing, or mom and pops are selling, over neighborhoods where corporate America is selling. Because corporate America tends to sell it for a little bit more. Question number 5, in the 2-part seller script, why is it so crucial to have the seller provide me with what they believe to be the market value of the property? Ultimately, aren't we just looking for their, walkaway money? Well, because I know the seller knows, and that's a great question, by the way. It's a very good question. It's a pretty complex question answer, but I'm going to try to reduce it down to a couple statements or sentences. Because I know the seller knows more about their property than I do. And also because I need to find a motivated seller. I need to ask the question, what do they think it's worth? One, they know more about it than I do. So they're going to have a better handle. It may not be 100% accurate, but that's okay. They're going to have a better handle than I am on the initial phone call. And I need to know that they know I only buy houses at a discount. So I need to have them have gone through that mental subtraction. So one of the things we say on our Alex script is, before we get started, so you understand what we do, we're national real estate investors who buy houses at a discount. And, if we get a click, that's fine. I can't buy a house at 100% value and make any money on it. So if I have to dismiss everybody else who'd hang up on me, who doesn't want to sell to me at a discount, fine, I don't have an issue with that at all. I'm not making friends here. I'm buying houses. I'm helping people. So I have to ask them, what do they think their house is worth? Because I have to know that they've done that evaluation in their brain, that they're comfortable selling at a discount. It's a very important question. If you don't ask it, the reason you don't ask it is because you're uncomfortable buying a house at a discount, and you feel like you have to hide something from somebody. We don't hide anything in this business. We're front, we're forward. We go overboard on telling the truth, because that's the important part of life. It's an important question, important statement, important answer. Get in the coaching program. I'll teach you all the ins and outs of it. Thanks so much, everybody. Send in your questions, and I appreciate it. Good to be back. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.